This group that you see standing behind me and kind of over in this corner is our jazz combo. They meet as a class every day. This first tune we're going to play is a Duke Ellington song. It's called Don't Get Around Much Anymore. It's one of Duke Ellington's better known numbers, and some of you may recognize it. This next song is called One Note Samba. Of course, by the title, you can tell it's a samba, and it's based on basically one note. It's actually based on two notes, but one note at a time. And so it's kind of an interesting tune. However, we decided to change it up a little bit and start it with a little solo by Nick. So he's going to play a whole bunch of notes on the samba changes, and then you'll hear the melody a few bars in. This tune was in the 1960s. I don't know. There was kind of a bit of a lot of interest in Latin music in the United States, and a lot of Latin jazz musicians kind of crossed over into the popular mainstream. And the composer of this piece, Antonio Carlos Jobim, did that. But this piece was actually kind of in America made more famous by another gentleman named Sergio Mendes. And he recorded it in 1966 with a group called Brasilia 66. And so you may have heard that version. So if this rings a bell, that may be where you heard it. So this is One Note Samba, or Samba de una nota del sol. The next tune is another tune. These are all tunes, you know, they're pretty, we call these standards. They're tunes that, you know, every jazz musician knows, and people that, you know, are kind of, even if you're not really a jazz buff, you might have heard. This next one is a tune by Oscar Hammerstein. Yeah, if I could talk, it would help. Oscar Hammerstein and Jerome Kern, and this is called All the Things You Are. And last but not least, we have one more tune for you. This one, have you ever heard of a guy, a saxophone player named Cannonball Adderley? He was popular in the 50s and 60s, and he was another jazz musician who kind of crossed over into the popular music realm. So if that name rings a bell, that's why. This next tune that we're going to play is one of his more famous numbers. It's called Work Song, and it's based on the call and response type of song that workers used in the fields in the South. So you'll hear like a melody stated by a small portion of the group, and then echoed back with a variation by everybody else, right? As the what we call the head or the main melody of the tune progresses, and then of course you'll hear solos and so on. So this is Work Song.
1, 2, 3.
piece, this is our required number. Our first piece that we're going to play next week is our required number. We're performing in Class B, so it's off the Class B required list. And it's called Singapura Suite. Singapura is the official name of the country of Singapore, the nation state of Singapore. This piece was commissioned from a Danish composer named Jan van der Roost. It's kind of interesting. Singapore, as you don't know, is very western facing for a Pacific, island or Pacific Rim state. And so this piece sounds very European. And of course, Jan van der Roost being Dutch, as I said, is a European. So it makes sense that this piece sounds the way it does. So if you're expecting to hear something Eastern, it's not going to be like that. It's going to sound more like something as much, it's like something from England or France or Germany as it does, like that. It's 2 movements, and this was commissioned by the extracurricular activities branch of the Ministry of Education for their national honors group in Singapore, so in 1999. So that just gives you a little background of what this piece is all about. Because Singapore is surrounded on 3 sides by ocean, there's a lot of sailing songs built into this, so if you get that kind of a vibe, that's where it's coming from. So this is Singapura Suite. I should have entitled this piece, or entitled this concert Around the World, because we had an American March. a piece from Singapore and Europe, kind of in combination. And our final number is called Variations on an African Hymn Song. So as you might have guessed, the variations come from an African hymn song, so you'll hear a lot from our percussion section and a lot of mixed meter and polyrhythms and all kinds of stuff. So this is Variations on an African Hymn Song by Quincy Hilliard.